Hey guys, and how's it going? I asked you what is your favorite Titan with the best setup and why. You guys answered, and I'm gonna read out your most interesting comments. Also, I'm gonna tell you my own personal opinion about this matter at the last part of the video. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and hit that bell for more content like this. Let's begin. Okay guys, it's time to read your comments and see what you have to say about each Titan. So let's begin with Nodens first. Ranger says, Nodens because it has more durability than any other Titans and it can heal itself and the teammates also. And he continues to say, Cyclone is the best weapons for it in his opinion because they have the Cyclone has the most range and very powerful, which is I do agree with you. When someone running the Nodens after all is a supporter weapon. That means you're gonna have to stay in the back, healing yourself, healing your teammates, suppressing enemies, and dealing damage from safe distance. That's what means to be a supporter. So I do agree with you, Rangel. Next we got Edison. He says, Nodens because you get a resistance if you heal your teammates, and I love to use Cyclone and Ruptures. I'm gonna agree with you on the Cyclone, but I wouldn't recommend running Ruptures on your Nodens. The main reason, if you encounter an Arthur, Rupture will be a good choice. But one thing that you should pay attention to it is the reload time. The reload time on Ruptures are terrible. I hate them. They very slow. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Cyclone would be a good choice. And now we got B-Max. He says, Nodens for its two abilities. I think Nodens had three abilities actually. The two main abilities are healing and suppression, but there is a third one, which is the resistance. The more you heal your teammates, the more you gain a resistance. And he continues and says, I would run it with Cyclone and I like supporting the team rather than brawling. That's a good point to keep in mind. If you like brawling much, then I wouldn't recommend Nodens for you. It's really hard to brawl with Nodens. Yeah, the healing and suppression helps, but not enough. If you like to brawl, then I recommend you to go with tanky Titans such as the Arthur. Last comment we got here is coming from Digambar, which I hope really I'm pronouncing your name right. He says, Nodens with Cyclones. Because even it has 1 HP, it can just sit back and in safety and just heal its teammates and suppress the enemies, quote unquote, through the wall. And it has so much HP, and meanwhile if it has 1 HP it can heal itself. Moreover, it has 4 beta weapons, which is the second highest firepower after Ming, and it gains more resistance if he heals his teammates. He continues also to say, just to add more about it, it is the best healer in the game, which can heal both Titans and normal weapons. Also healers like normal weapons can heal Titans and robots and themselves as well. But yes, Nodens heal themselves and others faster. He's the best healer. Nodens can have such a higher impact on battlefield, which is I do agree. Imagine 2 of them or 3. No enemies can have a chance of coming closer to them because a well-leveled Nodens and its weapons have higher durability, high firepower, healing goddess, and suppression. All hail the King Nodens. That's a really long comment there, but I do agree Nodens is pretty awesome Titan. And it is a game changer, but only with the right setup and with the right pilot. Now guys, let's move on and read your comments about Arthur. Minicles says, Arthur, strong shield with normal weapons, which is machine guns, cause it does a good damage, which I do. I prefer, whenever I'm running my Arthur, I prefer machine guns or Tsar and Rupture. Next we got Yusuf, and he says, Arthur is my favorite and the best Titan because you have an infinite HP and the shield never breaks. I think Arthur has the lowest HP among Titans, but I'm not really sure. But the shield I agree with that. The shield feels like impossible to break, especially if you max them. When you max the author shields, they get all the way to at 1 million HP, which is, it does feel like impossible to break with just 1 or 2 normal robots. But that said, if the raids gang up on you, it's game over for you. They can run around you and attack you from the behind, which is, if you expose your back, that's the author weakest point. Next we got Burley, and he says, author with machine guns, all around mid-range 500 meter to short range damage, cheap build, best beacon defender, anti-Luki, which is, I highly agree with you, Burley. Author could be the best beacon defender because the tankiness and also the blast wave, some of you call it fart wave, can be very helpful against Luki and all stealth robots in general. Now Francisco says author because this Titan is just so reliable and cheaper than some Titans, which is true. Author cost as much as Kid, so if you plan to get Kid, I prefer that you get an author. Next we got really interesting comment made by Foxy. He or she says author with the weapons of Rupture and SAR, because if they encounter another author in the battlefield, the damage coming from the rockets will go through that author's shield, which is really a good point there. Mark Minton says, I have all 3 Titans and I like the author with the shield and rockets. He loved the sound of them. Also he likes Dragoon's weapons or the plasma weapons, and he says they are pretty good at 600 meters. That sounds like an interesting idea, an author with plasma weapons. I haven't encountered them yet, but I believe I'm gonna see them a lot in the near future. Plasma weapons and electric weapons on author sound interesting, but I still prefer that you use rockets and machine guns on your author to brawl with them, and I think they are just better. Now guys, it's Oming time, and let's hear what we have to say about it. Leica says, Oming and machine guns. I think the machine guns limits the firepower capabilities of Oming. I think if you're gonna get Oming, you better get rockets or plasma weapons, or even better, the electric weapons for your Oming. Max says Oming because it has the most firepower, and Reggie says Oming with SAR and Rupture, very deadly. And I love your comment, Reggie. I think Oming with SAR and Rupture, the rockets weapons, is very underrated, and it's my second favorite Titan setup. Next, Illegal Bra Moment says Oming because of how much damage it deals with Cyclone and Catalysm or rockets, and does a lot of damage output. Very true. Next we got Dregs Play. He says Oming with double SAR and double Cyclone, Big Boom and Zap. Very interesting hybrid setup there. But he used author with Catalysm and double Rupture for defending Beacon. Sylvain says Oming because you can fly and dominate the whole map, with Retaliator and Vengeance because you do double damage to physical shields. I kinda disagree with this one, because flying can be a strong point but also can be a weak point, because when you fly you expose yourself to other Titans and you don't have a cover. So I see a lot of Omings when they fly and they get attacked, they immediately drop down and try going for a cover. But it can depend on the situation. It's not always a good thing. Next comment, which is the final comment about Oming, is made by Mark 2000. He says Oming with plasma weapons for the following reasons. 1, it's fun, true. 2, I believe I can fly, or the Oming can fly. That can be a weak point and strong point at the same time. It depends on the situation. 3, it can do lots of damage, true. 4, it can turn a whole match around. I think that's true, because I've seen a lot of Oming with plasma weapons maxed, and they just taken robots left and right with 1 shot or 2 shots maximum. Number 5, it's the fastest Titan in the air. Actually, it's the only flying Titan in the air. Nodens doesn't fly. Nodens hover over the ground. And finally, number 6, it has the high ground. That also can be a strong point and weak point at the same time. It depends on the situation. Now we reach to the final Titan, guys, and there is over 130 comments made by you on that post, and I only managed to fish out one comment that specifically says why they like Kid and the best setup for it. Oh my god, I feel so bad for the Kid, but I do understand why you guys don't like it that much. Doesn't matter, says the Kid Titan, he likes the Kid Titan with 2 Cyclones and 1 SAR. It's the fastest Titan with the best range ability, also has the most HP when maxed. True, I do agree with that, but why would you go for Kid if you have a better options? No one should waste their PT on the Kid because simply there is a better options for you. Don't get me wrong, I really like the Kid, I like the speed and I like the range radius of the oven wave, but the most thing I hate about it is the fact that I cannot use the alpha weapon unless I activated the ability. Guys, there is 2 comments that I found really interesting and I kept them at the very end. They basically sums up everything we said in this video. Here they are. Reach Gaming says, all Titans are good. I like them all. They all have different abilities. Ming, Dragon Flight and Heal. He fly and heal also. Kid, the Stove and Full Action. Arthur, the Shield Mode and Blast Wave. Nodens, Suppression and Healing. So all of them are good. The Catalysm and Cyclone are good for Ming. Machine Guns for Arthur and Kid, and Cyclone is the best for Nodens, which is I do agree with you. Next we got Pressure Member. He says Kid definitely out of the contest. Harsh but true. If you want defense, go with Arthur. Arthur can provide. If you want firepower, Ming can provide. If you want healing, Nodens can provide. Actually, Nodens is a whole package. Can heal, has the firepower, and can defense if you got him in the right level with the right weapon and you know what you're doing. Before I end this video, guys, if you like to hear my own personal opinion about this matter, what is the best Titan with the best setup for it? I think it's the Arthur with rockets, because this setup can encounter Plasma Ming and also can encounter Electric Nodens, also can encounter other Arthurs and Kid Titans. And the fact that the weapons mounted on the top of the Titan, I can go behind cover and shoot other Titans. That is a great advantage over other Titans. And also on top of that, I can use all my weapons at once with or without using the ability. And why the rockets? Because the rockets can go or pipe past the Arthur shield, and I don't have to directly shoot at the Titan. I have to just shoot a little bit to the left or right of it and he will receive the damage, even though they go behind a cover or an obstacle or whatever. That's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching and I hope I see you next video. Till next time.